With that in mind, here's your game plan for the rest of the week. There's not much on Monday. However, I do expect more special dividends. Like we got the one last night from Uber Cramer fave Whole Foods, earlier in the week from Costco and Brown-Forman. I mentioned those because while there are plenty of lists out there of what companies could declare them, I can't recommend a stock on a dividend basis if I don't like the fundamentals. Given that I'm all but certain that dividends will soon be taxed as ordinary income, I suspect the next 4 weeks will be chock full of new declarations, board meetings being held, let's give the money back. I like MasterCard and Visa as likelies, as well as Gap Stores GPS. There are others like Microsoft and Kohl's that could do a special dividend, but I don't want you to buy either. Or Apple, that I bet won't do one, but I don't need them to pay a special dividend to tell you to own Apple. Remember, we don't trade Apple. Just own it. It's what my charitable trust says. It just owns it, okay? The only other news Monday will be Ford and GM sales. Here's what I think they could be huge, but not in a way that will initially make a lot of sense. See, the first half of the month, sales were weak as consumers in the Northeast weren't doing much car shopping. But the second half had to be on fire because Sandy may have been the single biggest car destroyer since Katrina, or maybe more, given the fact that so many imported cars were damaged in the docks near the region's rivers. Don't underestimate that. Tuesday morning, we hear from the brothers Toll. Here's the best home builder in the country, and it's going to tell you a story of a boom. If you remember, there was a time when Bob Toll, the fabulous chairman and co-founder of Toll Brothers and an Eagles fan, came on Mad Money during what turned out to be the early part of the housing collapse, and he said he saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
All aboard!
But it was most likely the light of an oncoming train. Those days are gladly behind us. I suspect the Toll tells a compelling enough story that if it goes down on the fiscal cliff Monday, every day is fiscal cliff Tuesday, is fiscal cliff Wednesday, fiscal cliff, you get the picture. Anyway, you should pull the trigger here to buy it here if the fiscal cliff does what I'm afraid of. Brown-Forman reports Wednesday. Oh boy, this is an interesting one. Why? Because Goldman downgraded it to sell just last night. I've seen this movie. They were wrong last time. They'll be wrong again. I'm going to bet them a bottle of Jack Daniels. That will be the case. In fact, I'll bet them a case of Jack Daniels. That'll be the case. If we're close, earnings from Ascena. Now, we told you we like Ascena. We told you we like it, and I would be willing to be a buyer of that niche retailer ahead of this quarter because of some merger gains I think we'll hear about Charming Shop. But again, only on news of setbacks to the fiscal cliff talks. We're not just going to go in and buy anything these days because, you're going to get some representative or congressman, some senator come on and say, hey, you stupid idiot, you bought stock and now I'm talking on a microphone and you're a moron because I'm sending the stock market down because there's no progress. Now, we have not one but two huge analyst days next week. However, only one will be an opportunity to buy. Starbucks is coming to town on Wednesday. And you better get ready for one terrific show, as the one and only Howard Schultz, I believe, will tell you that business is smoking in so many places from China to India, the United States, and that Teavana is going to be the next generation Starbucks as soon as that merger is completed. Triple Venti Cappuccino with skim wet, the Cramer drink on the New York Stock Exchange floor if you do want to order one. The next day, Yum Brands is coming to town, and that company will have some explaining to do. I will have more on what Yum needs to tell us, but suffice it to say that the sting of the earnings shortfall last night will still be with us, no matter how good Kentucky Fried Chicken might taste. And I do like it almost as much as Popeyes. Also on Thursday, we hear from Lululemon, also known as Lululemon. Lululemon Athletica. Now, I got a solution for the quandary of how to trade this wild stock that makes stink pants. Anti-stink pants. Wait until it looks like it blew up. When it reports early morning, because that's always what happens. That's been the pattern. And then buy some. But listen, I'm sanctioning buying this stock at the opening only if I give you the green light when I'm on my other show. Buy. Squawk on the street. I need you to exploit this pattern, which is in part orchestrated by short sellers. Sell. Who always try to make the stock look worse than it is. And you'll get the early look from me. I'll try to give it to you by around 9:15 about whether I think the quarter isn't as bad as people think it is. Now, the non-farm payroll report on Friday. And normally that would be the first thing I talk about. It's numero uno. This time around, I'm not going to emphasize it. Why? Because Sandy's made the month of November virtually irrelevant. We can sweat it. We can puzzle over it. But in the end, we're just going to have to dismiss it. Unless the unemployment rate has shockingly dropped, which would be an odd anomaly that would show you that the rest of the country could pick up the slack of the Northeast. I don't think that's going to happen.